Hi everyone. I just wanted to go over briefly, kind of review MLA format because this is the primary format that you guys are going to be using all semester long because it's an English class. And I know that a lot of this is really kind of a formality at this point. These are things that I expect you to know having taken English 111 and 112. So it's really just a review. So the first thing, when you're writing a formal paper, this is not including your discussion boards, of course. Formal papers should have MLA headings. In other words, you should have your name, my name, the course number, and the day, month, the year that something is due. Not the day you write it, the day that it's due. And then in the upper right hand corner, you should have your name and the page number. I urge you all not to use the kind of MLA format that is or templates that are used on either Google Docs or Microsoft Word because they're out of date and they're gonna screw you up more than help you out. So your headings, and this should only be on the first page, just FYI. I have a lot of people make that mistake sometimes. So and then your last name and the page number should be on every page. And then you should have a beautiful title before you start writing your paper. In-text citations are really clean and pretty in MLA format because it's only the author's last name and the page number that go inside of those in-text citations. In-text citations go at the end of the sentence that they're found in, or that they're used in, not in the middle, not. So for example, if you look at this right here, I have a direct quote from my primary source right here, Shabby Wonder Houses or whatever. My in-text citation doesn't go there. It goes at the end of the sentence because if it goes here, it's distracting and it separates and cuts up the flow of the writing. So in-text citations should go at the end of the sentence that they're found in, and the period should go at the close of the parentheses. Now, I know it's going to be a question that comes up with the in-text citations for your perhaps your first paper or your discussion boards for the first couple of weeks. What happens when there's no author? A lot of the texts that we will be reading in the first half of our first unit are anonymous. We don't know who wrote them. So instead of putting the author's last name, you would just put the title of the poem in quotation marks because poems are in quotation marks. If this were a quote from The Wanderer, it would be The Wanderer page, whatever page it is found on the text. And of course, if it's in your paper, it should also be in your works cited page. So everything that you write should have a works cited page. And they are, of course, they're greedy. They want their own space. So they're on a separate sheet of paper. And they are in alphabetical order. And they have a hanging indent. There's always that offset to the second and third or corresponding lines after the first one. So please pay attention to that and make sure you adhere to it. I'm going to show you how to achieve that in just a second. So hanging indent, alphabetical order. And I want to briefly mention that everything that you guys write, or everything that you guys are going to be citing from, saving the novel later on at the end of the semester, primary or in terms of primary sources, are going to come from the Norton Anthology of English Literature. And citing that anthology, I've given you guys the format right here. You always want to include the author's last name and the first name. If there's no author, you would just start with the work of the title of the work. So the author's name, title of the work, title of the anthology. That's different than the title of the work. So for example, you're going to be reading some of the Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer. So Chaucer, Geoffrey, The Pardoner's Tale, which will be the tale that some of you will read, not all of us. The Pardoner's Tale, that's the work from the anthology. And then the title of the anthology itself, italicized. Edited by Stephen Greenblatt, W. W. Norton, 2018, and then the page range. So that's the format for citing a work from an anthology that you guys will use for your works cited pages. Some additional sources that you guys will be using potentially as secondary sources. Mainly, you'll be using articles from a database, the library databases. And maybe a work from a website. But I am going to provide you guys an MLA cheat sheet that I give to my English 111 and 112 classes that kind of give you an overview of how to cite various sources so that you won't have issues when you go to format your works cited page. So keep in mind, these are all things that are expected of you, documenting your sources, using your sources, and that's pretty much it, documenting and using your sources. So please let me know if you have any questions. The other thing that I wanted to mention before I stop, this is already longer than I intended it to be, but if you want to achieve a hanging indent, all you have to do, and this is Microsoft Word, I'm not sure how you do it in Google Docs, but in Microsoft Word, you just go to the paragraph settings, and then where it says special, you would click on hanging. So highlight your citation, go into the paragraph settings and click on hanging, and everything will be hunky-dory in terms of finding a beautiful hanging indent. So again, let me know if you have any questions or concerns about in-text citation. I might be a little lenient the first couple assignments that you guys do, just to kind of, because I know you guys are brushing up, but this is take heed on how to cite things and citing things appropriately. So I expect you all to use your sources and to document them appropriately. So let me know if you have any questions, and I will be talking to you soon.